am Tashay with Nerd Alert News, and today we are here with Herman Tømmeraas. You know him from
Hey,
Ragnarok and Home for Christmas, but today we're talking about sweetness. How are you doing, Herman?
yes, I am doing so well. Thank you so much for having me and taking the time to talk to me. I appreciate that. Of
Thank you for talking to us. It's a pleasure. So,
course.
sweetness starts out with superfan Riley trying to save her favorite rock star from himself. But
Yes.
it quickly evolves into something a whole lot darker. I mean, I thought I knew what I was in for when I read the synopsis, but I was not prepared for that wild ride.
It's like sometimes you think there's a limit to how bad things can get. There isn't. There
There is
usually isn't.
not.
It can
There is
really
not.
get super bad, and that is what happens in Sweetness. It's the
It
worst case
is
scenario all the way through, and
all the way
that's one of the things
through.
I love.
And that's what made it so compelling, I think.
Awesome, I love that. It's a weird and twisted film with a lot of it's a lot. I like to look at it as in we love when the audience are kind of divided with people not being completely sure if they're approving of what happens or if they're against it because some of it feels justified, but some of it really
Yes.
doesn't, and that kind of goes back and forth all the way
It
through, which makes
blurs the
people go like,
line.
"Ugh." Yeah.
So, what was your first reaction after reading the script?
I was very interested in the character, first of all, because um, as an actor, I think it's natural that you're pulled towards characters that challenges you in every kind of way. And this character is everything else than just one-sided. He has so much things going on. He has so many struggles and problems that he has to deal with. Gets to be a musician, gets to be, portray being an addict, but also having such a big internal war with himself, what he kind of wants to do next in his career. Spot on, and the story is so fun and original that I it was a dream role, to be honest.
That's been, well, you did a phenomenal job in it. But I mean,
Thank you so much.
when we're on the subject of your performance, most of Peyton's scenes are pretty heavy,
Yeah,
especially the ones with Riley in the basement. Those get
yes,
intense. I mean,
they do.
he's vulnerable, he's self-destructive, terrified, and there at the end, he's got to be super resourceful.
Once
How
again,
did
it gets worse and worse. That's the best thing.
it does? How did you approach finding a balance in all that without leaning too far into one aspect or the other?
I had a lot of freedom with the character, which I really appreciate as an actor. It's really fun to be able to play around. The first part of the shooting, we kind of divided it into two. So the first part of the shooting were a lot of the movement, the scene shots, the concert scenes, the being in a car, being outside, running, all those things were shot in the first block. And then on the next one, we kind of shot the basement scenes. So the shooting period was kind of divided into a lot of movement to no movement whatsoever. It was literally just me, connected to a radiator. I was only able to do this. And those scenes in the basement turned out to be the most intense. And that was solely because of Kate Hallett, and her way of how intense she can get. So we really had a lot of fun acting, especially the basement scenes.
Oh, she was incredible.
It was awesome.
So, was there a particular scene that challenged you most as an actor? If so, why and how did you rise above it?
Basement scene was the most challenging one. As sort of because what I mentioned, that I wasn't allowed to move. I wasn't allowed to use my prop my the normal thing I do in scenes, that I kind of find the movement in it while practicing the script. And in these scenes, I wasn't allowed to do that. Everything I did had to be done here. So that's what made it challenging. The way it worked out was again because of Kate, because she has an amazing ability of acting with only her eyes. She can
Oh, I
kind of
saw
hold
that.
her eyes on you and kind of just talk. And that made me not move as well because my character was so terrified at all times. So it was solely because of her and her intensity that it kind of worked. That I kind of managed to be able to find the energy whilst not being able to move.
I mean, yeah, I mean that intense stare, that was a wow. But
She's very sweet, but trust me, she can look terrified if she wants to.
oh yeah, yeah, that is very evident. But, speaking of that dynamic, I mean, the whole thing just gets increasingly and increasingly more unpredictable as everything unfolds. How did
Yes.
you guys go about building that trust and tension between the two of you to make those moments feel so real? I mean, I know you said it was her stare, but what did you
Yes.
guys do together?
So every day before we went on set, we had usually had makeup time at the same time, and costume change at the same time. So when we were done getting makeup and I got my tattoos and she got, everything she needed, we kind of sat down, only her and I, and just read through the scene a couple of times just to see if we were on kind of on the same page, literally, and saw if we could find some kind of common energy there, that we had a common understanding. And then when we shot, I think she trusted me enough to let me be free to do whatever I felt like, and I felt the same. I trusted her in her choices, which meant that she could do new things without telling me, and it kind of worked. And I could try new things, and she was comfortable enough to play along with that as well. So it was a mix of us three. It was Emma, Kate, and I that had freedom to try and trust each other in the process.
What kind of conversations did you have with the director beforehand?
Emma is, first of all, so extremely well prepared. She knows exactly what she wants and why she wants it, which means that everyone on set trusts her with her choices. But whilst being so well prepared and so insightful in what she wants, she's also a big listener. She wants you to ask if you don't know, which once again leads to everyone trusting her and being, everyone's comfortable enough to ask about stuff. So every day she gave directions, she said why and what she wanted, and then if I felt like that was what I needed, I just went with it. And if there was any questions, I asked every time, and she answered properly every time, cleared everything up. So it was, once again, a back and forth all the way.
I love that. So let's kind of get into the final act here. I mean, to say
Yes,
the least, that final act was intense.
love it.
Like, I mean, you thought you knew where it was going, and then it just took a hard left and went just completely the other direction.
Good, love that.
And I mean, the ending was incredible. It's one of those that you're just sitting there staring at the screen at the end, like, wait a minute, what am I processing here? But what I really want to know is how do you feel about Peyton's ending in particular?
Are you thinking spoiler free now, or spoiler, full spoiler? What do you
Let's
prefer?
let's try to give as less detail as possible because I don't want to ruin it for someone because I mean you have to see this without expecting it.
Got you. So, uh, I, in my opinion, I think the ending we went for, is what is the thing. I loved that ending when I read it the first time, and I loved how the ending ended up. I wanted it to end that way because it's, in my opinion, it's what felt the most natural, and also what would leave people kind of having the experience you had of kind of sitting there going, the fuck was that? Right?
Right?
That's not what we wanted. We wanted people to be surprised and caught off guard, but while also keeping the tension in the audience. And that's the first time I watched the film was in, Austin. First time I watched it in Austin. And I loved the audience reaction to it because they were split. Half of them went, yeah, and half of them went, what? And I love that people couldn't make up their minds. That's what the ending is about. It's, you have to decide which part of the story you're siding with. And I love that.
Exactly. I mean, I loved the ending. It was perfect, but at the same time, it broke my heart a little bit. A little bit, not gonna lie.
Makes me happy. Makes me happy. Thank you.
So, do you have anything else in the works that you can talk to us about, maybe?
Well, right now I'm so next to my acting, I do really love to do voiceover jobs. I do love animated films and honestly video games. I haven't managed to get myself a video game voiceover yet. I'm still working towards it, but I do have some voiceover jobs I'm doing, which is really fun.
Oh, I could see you in like a Skyrim.
Oh, dude, do you know how fun that would be? I'm not even joking, and I'm not just solely talking voiceover. I want to be in a motion capture studio. There's a reason why I've been a dancer for 15 years. It's solely based on the fact that I want to get into motion capture and do like proper
Oh, that'd be
character
so
work
much
one time.
fun.
One day, hopefully.
I mean, you're headed in the right direction. I mean, your
I
career
hope
is just
so.
really taking off, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
So it looks like we're running low on time here. So let's end with this. What do you hope audiences walk away with thinking or feeling after watching Sweetness?
I hope um I hope people that watch Sweetness will watch it with someone else. Because one of the coolest things, in my opinion, about this film is that people will not agree. People are going to have different opinions and different ways of looking at it. There are several things going on, and people will side with different parts of the story. And so watch it with someone, have fun, enjoy the ride, buckle up. It is a bumpy one.
Oh yeah.
And last but not least, on a serious note, for anyone that sadly has experienced or is currently experiencing addiction or problems that is similar to Peyton, talk to someone. Even though it might seem like no one wants to hear it, someone will. So talk to someone.
You mentioned it, and just before we do end this, the way that you portrayed the whole addiction, I guess, aspect of Peyton, I
Yes.
personally, I just feel like that was so well done because
Thank you.
you seem to really understand that addiction isn't the high, it's
No, no, no.
what you're escaping.
Exactly. And
Eh,
then and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to make sure that I read myself up, and I watched interviews, I spoke to people that has experienced similar things, not because I had to know exactly what it was, but rather that I wanted to do it justice. I wanted to at least do a performance that people, if you've experienced it and you watch it, you will feel like it's being represented in a fair way as what it actually is.
right. And I mean, for me, I felt like you totally nailed that one.
Thank you so much. That is a big compliment, and I really appreciate that. Thank
You're
you.
very welcome. All right, Herman, that is all the time we have. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
No worries. And once again, thank you for having such a lovely smile and a good energy.
Well,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you so much. All right, everyone, that's all the time we have for today. If you haven't seen it yet, Sweetness is now on demand and digital. Trust me, you are gonna want to check this one out. Until next time, thanks for watching.